Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here on the west coast of Canada. I hope everybody is having an awesome week so far. I hope you're all staying healthy and staying productive. Welcome Pranjal. Hi Harwinder, welcome to our members. Hello Harpreet. Hi Anatoly. 31 Allah, welcome to our regular students. Welcome Carolina, our chat moderator. Good to see you. Yavo here, nice to have you in our general English class as well with Yulia. Good to see everyone. Today we are focusing on IELTS Speaking Part 1, Good Band 9 Answers. That is our target, to give some good answers to get those high band scores for the exam. We will be using our websites today for academic IELTS success. Visit us at aehelp.com. For general IELTS success, visit us at gieltshelp.com. On both of those websites, we have loads and loads of materials. This is our academic IELTS website here with this blue background. We are an official British Council IELTS test registration center and certified agents. Click this big red button to join our premium package, or this green button to get a free demo account. We will use this today for speaking, to connect with some of our viewers, to do some voice calls, and we will chat with students. You will get to hear some of those volunteers, and I will assess their IELTS speaking. I will give them a band score, and I will let you know how to improve. Our general IELTS website looks like this with the green background. Same idea. Click that big red button to join us there. Again, it's a one-time payment for lifetime access. And great news, we still have our Cyber Monday discount going until the end of this week, until Sunday. So you can use the code CYBERDAY to get a 40% discount off of our premium IELTS package. Again, it really doesn't cost a lot anyway. And we also have a new speaking video on our channel where I interview a candidate from the state of Bihar, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, in India. We are basically the world's most popular IELTS learning platform. If you have any questions, just send me an email to adrian@aehelp.com. It's right up there. Yeah. There. Yeah. Adrian@aehelp.com. And I will get back to you in short notice. We've got lots of classes for you tomorrow as well. So we'll have speaking part, we'll have task 1 and speaking part 2 tomorrow. And then we'll have more speaking as well later on in the week. So lots and lots coming. Okay, everyone, so you're in your IELTS exam, and today I want to give lots of chances for students to speak. So remember yesterday's class, I said it's really important to focus on these 3 elements in your speaking to get those high band scores. What are they? Okay, so when you're focusing on getting a high band score, you have to make sure to include these 3 kind of components into your responses. What are they? Okay, so for high band scores, focus on, yeah, very good, okay. Anton and Arda are saying you have to give an answer and an explanation and an example. Okay, you want to really give an example. Focus on A, answer, B, explanation, and C, example. Absolutely. And you should always pay attention to doing one more step. I talked about this yesterday as well. Okay, so for a lot of the questions, or for most of the questions, you should use something. What should you use in your question or in your answer to get that high band score? Okay. Habibulyev Aziz Bek says you should paraphrase the question. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. That's the second part, right? So use the question and paraphrase it in your answer. Okay. All right, that's what you want to do, okay? Okay. All right, so this time, even the warm-up, I'm going to do with some volunteer, okay? I'm going to take volunteers. Today's class, I'm just going to do a lot of practice with you, and I'm going to take some volunteers right away from the very beginning, even from the introduction of the IELTS exam, okay? So you're really going to get a feel for how this works in the IELTS test. You go to your IELTS test, your speaking test, 20 minutes before it starts. Actually, you go an hour before, 1 hour before, and you practice your English with other candidates. That's a really smart thing to do. Then 20 minutes before you register, and you keep practicing, you keep speaking in English. Don't speak in any other language except English on the day of your IELTS speaking test. And then you go into the exam room and you're met by an examiner. And we're going to do this right off the hop here, everyone. So I'm going to give you instructions on how you can speak with me, how you can connect with me, okay? So your first step is to go to the website, and you're going to register a free or a paid account, up to you. It's worth it to get the paid account. And then you're going to log into your My Student account. You're going to click the Student Partner Speaking, okay? Pancham says, I'd love to volunteer. And everybody, make sure that you have your microphone and your speakers enabled for your browser, okay? So I've just put the instructions into the chat. I'm going to put it into the general IELTS chat here as well, Muhammad and Shalohidin. So I'm going to take people from all both of our channels here, and we're going to really get into it. So bear with me while we set this up. It's really worth it. Okay, so let's go to the websites. Please go to the website with the blue background, this one, okay? The academic one. They actually link together, so if you're in the green one, it's fine too, it's okay, but I can see you better if you're in the blue one. So, and then you create an account. You can join the full course with the red button or try it for free with the green. And then up at the top here, it's like right above my head, that way. Right, it's mirror orientation. So to get into your My Student account, and in your My Student account, you have this, you see it's right above my head there. It's the Student Partner Speaking, okay? You can click on that Student Partner Speaking. And then if you like this, by the way, students, and you want to book a full speaking interview practice with me, that's 30 minutes of speaking analysis feedback, you can book that after, later on, with this yellow button, the speaking interview practice. That's a paid service, of course. But for now, we're just using the free version here, which is the Student Partner Speaking, okay? You have to accept this, and I know many students already know what's going on here, so you're probably going to be in here already. Okay, and then you are going to be in this page here. Make sure to keep this page open so I can call you. And we have Arawind, we have Carolina, we have Mohammed, we have Elnur. So we've got lots of people in here already. So I'm now looking for some volunteers. And I can already hear people pinging me. You probably can too. I see Arda. Arda says, I want to volunteer, but for the other questions. Okay, well, it's good to practice the warm-up, everyone. So let's try Mai. I know Mai is a regular student of ours. Mai, I'm going to send you a message, and then let's see. So, hi, Mai. Would you like to volunteer for a couple of questions? Great way to build your confidence, by the way, too, students, to do this, okay? And when we start speaking, we're only going to use the audio. We're not doing video chat right now just because I'm using the video for YouTube, okay, the camera. So we're going to just audio chat, and there's Mai. Mai's like, sure, you're awesome, Mai. So we're just going to use the audio and make sure that when we start talking for whoever it is, so Mai, for you, make sure to mute your YouTube so you don't get feedback, okay? All right, Mai, I'm going to give you a call and then we'll get going here. So I'm calling Mai. Mai is one of our regular students, so hopefully I can connect with Mai. And let me know, students, if there's anything going on with the sound or anything, okay? Hi, Mai.
Hello, Adrian. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for volunteering, Mai. It's good to have you with me here.
Actually, my name is Me.
Me. Thank you for correcting me. Okay, me. Okay, not Mai, it's me. All right. Okay, me. So thank you so much. I'm going to ask you the first few questions. This is basically what happens when you walk into your IELTS speaking exam. Have you taken the IELTS before me?
Not yet.
Okay, so this is a great chance to kind of get familiar and get confident with the test. That's awesome. Thank you for volunteering. Okay, Me, let me just switch back to the questions here. All right. So we'll get going, okay? So everybody, this is basically how your IELTS exam will start. You're going into a room. It's just you and the examiner. The examiner will be sitting there, and then the examiner will look at you, and the examiner will say, welcome to the speaking portion of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test. It has 3 parts. I'm recording this for clerical purposes. The exam is being conducted in Victoria. The candidate number is 79531. Now we shall begin. Firstly, may I see your identification, please?
Gladly, this is the ID that I used for registration for a couple of weeks back. Please have a look.
What is your full name?
My given name is Me, and my family name is Thong. Please copy by my English name, Amy. I'm comfortable with that.
And what do you do for fun?
I usually go to the park near my house, and I usually have a 5 or 10 minute walk there. I really enjoy the clean atmosphere, and just like yesterday after studying for the IELTS exam, I took a 5-minute walk there and I felt really relaxed.
All right, let's talk about the internet. How often do you use the internet?
I use the internet on a daily basis for work, study, and I also use it to find information on Google and watch some online videos on YouTube whenever I have a rest. Yesterday I went on YouTube to find some videos that help me calm myself before the exam.
Okay, Me, that is fantastic. That's really, really good. Okay, I'm going to analyze your speaking, and I'll give you a band score estimate. I'll even break it down into the components, okay? So very good start, very nice strong start, okay? That would be overall, I would say a band 7 to a 7.5 easily, okay? So you have some really great fluency. Your fluency would be like a band 9. Okay, you're very, very fluent. You basically don't take any pauses. In fact, Me, you're speaking quite fast, even for a native speaker. So for an interview, like a job interview, you can speak a little bit slower. Okay, so a little bit more methodically. Methodically means a little bit even more thought out. Okay, so even more thinking into your speaking. You don't have to speak quite this fast. You can still get a band 9 for fluency, even if you speak like 10% slower. Okay, your coherence score is quite good as well because you're doing all of the right steps. So you're answering in complete answers, you're giving good details, you're staying on the question, you're not going off topic. After you answer, you stop talking, giving me a chance to ask you the next question. So that's beautiful. That's really, really great. Okay, so your score there would be quite good also. Where you're losing a little bit of marks are with your grammar. So at times you make slightly awkward grammatical mistakes where the word form is a little bit off or you're missing a preposition. So your grammar would be closer to like a 6.5, 7 or so, and that's kind of what's pulling your score down a little bit. Like there's just some awkward, unnatural grammar mistakes, and that's totally okay. Don't stress about that too much. That will come with just more practice and time. So what you want to do to improve your score, especially the grammar part, is when you're practicing your speaking in partners or with others, record yourself. So record your answers, and then after you finish speaking, listen to the recording and write down your sentence that you say. Find the grammar mistake, correct it, and then say it with the correction. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
So that's going to be the kind of practice that will help you to just fix those small grammatical unnatural nuances that will help you to bump your score up even to like an 8 or an 8.5. Okay, I think you can do that within a couple months of practice. Okay, so don't worry about your speed, don't worry about your vocabulary, you're fine on all of those. Okay, so let's practice this a little bit. So my first question was, may I see your identification, please? And you said, gladly. This is the ID that I used for registration a couple of weeks back. Please take a look. And there you had a kind of an awkward little pause and a weird little mistake, but it was good for the most part. So again, if you speak a little bit slower, just a little bit slower, then you won't make that mistake and it will be clear from start to finish. Okay, so try it one more time. Okay, I'm going to say it and then you say it. Okay, so gladly, this is the ID that I used for registration a couple of weeks back. Please take a look.
Okay, gladly, this is the ID that I used for registration a couple of weeks back. Please take a look.
Good, yeah, so when you have that comma a couple of weeks back, at that comma, really just take an extra half-second break so that you can be very clear on the last half of the sentence, right? So registration a couple of weeks back, please take a look. It's okay to take that extra little pause. Try it one more time.
Okay, I used for registration a couple of weeks back. Please take a look.
Okay, better, right? So you gave yourself just a little bit of extra time so that you don't stumble on your thoughts or your words, okay? So take that extra half second. Okay, that was really good, Me. Thank you for volunteering to be our first volunteer for today. That was very brave. Students, please give a little bit of an applause for Me there. That was very brave of her to go first today. So thank you, Me. We're going to take somebody else here in a moment, and keep up the good studies.
Okay, thank you, Adrian.
Thank you. All right, so we'll take somebody else for the next questions. And of course, these corrections and this feedback, students, that I'm giving you, if you find that you're making similar kinds of mistakes, be sure to pay attention and do these kinds of exercises as well, okay? All right. Let's see if I can find our member Arda, because I know Arda has been patiently waiting to practice. So there I can see Arda. Okay, Arda, I'm going to send you a message first. Make sure that you have your microphone enabled. So hi, Arda. Okay, so I'm just going to give lots of feedback, and I'll give you strategies and tips as we go along. Would you like to volunteer? For a couple of questions. And I should be putting my punctuation there. Let's see. Okay, so Arda says yes. Okay, Arda, perfect. All right, so I'm going to call you Arda, and then hopefully we can connect here. Let's see, where is Arda? There's Arda. Okay, and so it's just voice call only, Arda, because I'm using the video for YouTube here, so I'm reaching out to Arda. Okay. Yes, Kevin, you'll be able to volunteer too.
Hello?
Hi, Arda.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. What about you?
I am a little bit under the weather, to be perfectly honest with you, but I think I'm on the mend. I'm getting better. So thanks for asking. Okay, Arda. Yeah, it's kind of that season here in Canada. It's cold season. All right. Okay, Arda, so I'm going to ask you some questions, okay? And again, just focus on answer, explanation, example. importantly, when you feel like you've finished the answer, make sure to stop and give me a chance to ask you the next question, okay? So don't just
Right.
keep talking. Sometimes like some instructors say, oh, just keep talking till they stop you. That's really a bad idea, okay? So don't do that, okay?
All right.
All
I'll do
right.
that.
Okay, so give me one moment. Let me just hop back to the questions here. Okay. All right, so we're going to start from the part one. Let's talk about the internet. How often do you use the internet?
Well, I could say I use the internet almost all the time when I'm at home, because I can cheer myself up by watching a video or listening to music on the internet. And I do that quite a lot when I'm bored. Yesterday, I watched a gameplay video of Forza Horizon 5.
Okay. What are some of the sites you visit frequently?
The websites that I visit frequently are definitely YouTube and Amazon. On YouTube, I can find tons of useful videos for both relaxation and getting better at English. On Amazon, I can buy lots of items fast and easy. I just bought my new headset from Amazon for a good price.
Okay, very good, Arda. So, Arda, your band score would be a band 8.5 for that so far, okay? Which is nearly a perfect score. It's very, very challenging to get a perfect score, so an 8.5 is like super great, okay?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, and even so, even some native speakers, if they sat the IELTS exam without any practice, would only score like a band 7.5 to 8. Okay, just like somebody who goes into a job interview without any kind of training, might not be the best or might not get the job, right? So you always
Yeah,
have
I
to
agree.
train for the situation, right? And that's why I recommend even for students who have really good English like yourself, you want to train for the IELTS and for the speaking section just so you understand the type of communication that you have to produce. And clearly you're in these classes, that's what you're doing, you're learning the right kind of communication techniques with answer, explain, example. And it shows. So it shows, okay? Your fluency is fantastic. Your grammatical range accuracy is very good. The only place where you're losing that half band, because you're probably like, well, okay, Adrian, where am I losing half a band, right?
Yeah.
So it's a good question. So you're losing that half band in just a couple of slightly awkward pronunciation features, even though your pronunciation is like almost a band 9, there's just a couple words that are slightly off. Like you're sounding,
Like Amazon.
yeah, like you're sounding like
Yeah,
a
I
native
knew that.
speaker. Yeah, you're sounding like a native speaker that's just a tiny touch off, like a little tiny touch off, and you're making a couple of really small mistakes in the grammatical component. Like there's just a couple of oddly placed prepositions or kind of nuances in your language. Like a half a band it's really a very picky kind of point to go on, but that you'll just pick up from using the language more and more. So basically, I think for you at this point, you can sit the IELTS exam at any time to get a great score. And then Arda, what's your plans? Like where do you plan to use English and IELTS in the future?
Well, I actually want to migrate to the UK and study at a university there. That's my dream, I can say.
Yeah, so I think that once you get to the UK and you're there and I'm sure you'll get there, IELTS will not be a problem for you. So once you get to the UK and you're there for like a year to 2 years and you're using your English, you will iron out all of these small little oddities in your language. So that will just come from that immersion into the language, and then you'll lose these little kinds of
I'll get
oddities
used to
from.
that.
Yeah, exactly. But I definitely wouldn't worry about it before your IELTS exam. So I wouldn't stress about that too much. Okay. So
Yep.
let me just look at one of your responses. Okay. So I said, what are some of the sites you visit frequently? Firstly, you did a really good job to talk about 2 sites, not just one. So you recognize that there's a plural in this question,
Yeah.
okay? And that was very clever of you. That's very accurate, okay? So you said the websites that I visit frequently. If I wanted to be really picky, you could have paraphrased the word frequently with often
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
several times each day. So the websites that I visit several times a day are definitely YouTube and Amazon. On YouTube, I find videos to improve my English and to have a good laugh. And on Amazon, I purchase a lot of my clothes and electronics. Yesterday, I bought a new headset. Okay, try it one
Yeah.
more time, and kind of the same advice that I gave to me. You can go a little bit slower, like 5% slower. That might help you to take out those kind of slight oddities in your response. So I'll say it one more time, Arda, and then try, okay? So the websites that I visit each day are definitely YouTube and Amazon. On YouTube, I look for videos to improve my English as well as to have a good laugh. And on Amazon, I buy my clothes and electronics. Yesterday, I picked up a new headset.
The websites that I visit each day are definitely YouTube and Amazon. On YouTube, I look for videos to improve my English. And on Amazon, I buy some clothes and electronical devices, like my headset, which I bought yesterday.
Very good. Perfect. So that was like almost perfect. You would probably get a 9 for that. See, like there I was really listening for, okay, what's that little oddity? And the little oddity there would be electronical devices. A native speaker wouldn't really say electronical devices. They would say electronics or electronic devices. Okay, so that's like that's the one thing that was just a slight little bit like, oh, okay, if I'm being super picky, right? But again, don't worry about that, okay? You have great pronunciation, great English. I can tell that you've studied lots and worked really hard to reach this level, so congratulations for that. Okay, Arda, thank you so much for volunteering. I hope you volunteer again in the future, and I'll see
Yep.
more of you in the class, okay?
All right. Yes.
Okay,
Take care.
thanks a ton. All right, so far so good, students, and I'm hoping that everybody's kind of picking up the advice that I'm giving to different students. Okay, so I'm going to choose another student here. Let's take somebody else. Who else would like to volunteer? Let's take a look. And I see that we had a super chat donation from Jitendra, who donated 20 rupees. So I'm guessing maybe Jitendra's in here and would really like me to pay attention to that. Let me see, Jitendra, if I can find you in here, or if that was you just being super nice. Okay, I don't actually see you. Let me go back. Everybody can see kind of the list of students here. Okay, so let me see if I can find Jitendra, because Jitendra was nice enough to do a super chat donation for this as well. So it's only fair. But that was just, I think Jitendra was just doing that just to say, hey, thank you, which is really cool. Okay, let's see if I can find another volunteer here. Okay. Yeah, Arda, for sure. I'm glad that I helped you overcome some of your shyness. Yeah. Okay. Ruslan says, I would like to speak with you. I'm also looking at the chat right now as well. So let's see. If I if I can see Ruslan in our list here. Ruslan, I don't see you. I see Vishal, and I know Vishal's been pinging and pinging and pinging. So Vishal, I'm gonna try to contact you, okay? Because I know you've been really patient. So give me a second here. I just have to adjust something. There we go. So, hi Vishal. Would you like to volunteer? Okay, we're going to try to get Vishal on the line. Again, everyone, remember when you're volunteering, make sure you enable the speakers and the microphone on your browser, okay? And when I actually connect with you, you should mute your YouTube so that you don't get feedback, okay? I'm going to have a drink of water here, Vishal. Just give me 2 seconds. Okay, so Vishal is volunteering for some speaking. Let's try Vishal here. Okay, I'm going to find you here, Vishal, pretty quick. All right, Vishal. So I'm just calling Vishal now. Hopefully we'll get a good line. All right, Vishal. So Hi, Vishal.
Hello, sir.
How are you doing?
Quite good.
That's great. Thank you for volunteering. And I hear that you muted YouTube, so we're not getting feedback, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's wonderful. Okay, Vishal. So same idea as with Arda and me. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and then we'll analyze it. I'll give you some feedback, and I'll give you some score estimates. Does that sound good?
Oh, excellent.
All right. Let me hop back to my questions here. All right. So here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
What are some of the sites you visit frequently?
The sites are the places where we would like to develop our knowledges and explore the things. But the sites I visited recently was in my city of infrastructure, developing a very huge mall, and also there were
Okay. Vishal, sorry, let me interrupt you. I'm going to go back and introduce the topic of our speaking again because maybe you missed it. And you're thinking of physical sites, which are around your city. But in fact, here we're actually talking about the internet. So
sorry about it. I just joined the class.
yeah, that's totally fine. And this is why, but that's okay because Vishal, this brings me to an important point. Whenever students are answering these questions in the speaking and speaking part 1, always keep in mind the topic that's introduced by the examiner. So the examiner will say, let's talk about the internet. Okay? So what are some of the websites that you visit frequently?
There are many sites I used to surf daily, like YouTube, and some of the sites from which I can get education related to IELTS nowadays. I have just completed my graduation, and I am no longer studying about that. So I am completely doing my study based on the IELTS only. So I visited the sites related to IELTS only.
Do you use the internet at school or at work?
I use internet at school only, but because I am not working at all. I have just graduated from my college, and we use internet for our study purposes, and many also we use internet for our projects and assignments we are given.
Okay, good, and you stopped there. Okay, that's what you were missing for the previous question. So you have to be careful about about talking too much, Vishal. So if you keep talking and talking and talking, the examiner will interrupt you. Okay, so answer, explain, example, stop. Okay, don't keep talking. All right, don't keep talking. All right, Vishal. So I'll give you a band score estimate, and I'll let you know what you're doing well and where you can improve, okay? So you would probably get a band score of about 6 for that, okay? So most examiners, I think, would score you around a 6, okay? Plus minus half a band score. You have some good fluency, okay? It's clear that you understand the question that I'm asking you. You have some good vocabulary, so those band scores would be nice and high. They would be like in the 7, 7.5 range for vocabulary, for fluency. Your pronunciation is fine, okay, so your pronunciation is a band 8. A lot of students worry about pronunciation, but pronunciation is not that important as long as I can understand you. And I can understand every word that you say. So every single word, none of the words that you used, I never have to be like, huh, like what is Vishal saying? What's that word? I didn't feel that, okay, at all. So
Okay.
every word that you said for me was like, okay, that's clear, it's clear, it's clear. That's why I was able to transcribe and write it as you were speaking. So of course your question is like, well, where am I losing marks, right? Why am I getting this
Yeah.
score? You're losing marks because, number one, you're over speaking, so I have to interrupt you, and it's kind of like you're going off topic and I don't know if I like to use this word, but you're rambling. It's like you're talking and talking and talking when you should just stop at some point. And because you're doing that, because you keep talking and talking, you start to make more and more information mistakes and grammar mistakes. Information mistakes and grammar mistakes affect your coherence score, and that's very dangerous. That will drop your mark, okay? When the information becomes confusing, all right? I'll show you what I mean. So my question was, what are some of the sites you visit frequently? Okay, that was my question. And then you said, there are many sites I used to surf daily. Okay, my question is in the present tense, meaning what are some of the sites you visit frequently now? Not what are some of the sites you used to visit. And multiple times you referred to the answer with I used to. You said this later as well when you said, I used to use the internet at school. And again, my question was in the present tense. It was, do you use the internet at school or at work? So that means now, where do you use the internet? And your answer was really confusing for me because you told me that you had already graduated, but you used the internet in school for studying when you were in school. So you're answering a different question. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, grammar mistakes.
Yeah, and those grammar mistakes make it sound like you're answering a different question. A lot of students do this, Vishal, where a lot of students use the words would and use to incorrectly. And if you use the words would and use to incorrectly, it changes what you're saying, and it's often an awkward, incoherent answer. So you have to be really careful with that, okay? While I have you on the line here, just hang on a second. I'm going to make this note because I've seen this with lots of other students as well. So students, be very careful with using used to and would. So many students will say, I would do this, or if I would do that. And that's also often changing the information and incorrect. So be very careful when using used to and would, as this changes what you are saying and is often an incorrect answer. Okay, and that drops your score a lot. All right, so let me do a correction here. Vishal, here's a trick too. You don't have to say the truth. So if you used to use the internet at school, but you don't because you graduated, and the question is, do you use the internet at school or work? Just pretend like you're still in school, right? So for instance, you could do this. Okay, I'm going to say the question, say the answer, and then you can repeat the answer, okay? So do you use the internet at school or at work? I currently use the web at school for my learning. I use it to research assignments and to look at some fun videos. Yesterday I was doing some research about the environment. Okay, and that's it, right? So one more time, try it this way, stay present tense, okay? So do you use the internet at school or at work?
I use the internet at school for making projects and assignments. Yesterday I just prepared a project based on the internet.
Environment, right?
Environment, sorry.
Yeah, but that's good, okay? So that was good. Much better, much more accurate grammar there. So there you clearly stayed with the answer and you reflected the correct tense. Notice that one trick that I used to make sure that I stay in the correct tense. I use the word currently, right? Like currently, I use the internet or the web, I was paraphrasing the web, at my college. So we can paraphrase school with college, right? I often research, and at times I watch funny videos while doing assignments, right? Okay, so the trick that I used here is I used the word currently, which immediately reminds me to kind of stay in the present tense, okay? Or another word that you could use, for instance, is these days. Okay, so when you hear that present tense, you can also say these days. And then that reminds you to stay in the present tense, okay? So really pay attention to that, work on that grammar, Vishal, okay?
All right.
All right, thank you, Vishal, for volunteering. Everybody give Vishal a round of applause. Students, I really want to see some thumbs up and some applauses for our volunteers, because it does take a lot of courage to volunteer in front of so many viewers and to kind of voice your English. So good job, Vishal. Thank you so very much for volunteering. And keep watching and keep learning. Okay, let's take another volunteer. All right, so I know we've got lots there. We've got some thumbs up from Tanya and a clap from Carolina and Rashika. Very good. And Pancham. Pancham, I know that you really wanted to volunteer as well. Yeah, I see that you said you have a speaking test tomorrow. So yeah, let's try to find Pancham. Okay, our member Pancham here has been very patient, has not had a chance. So Pancham, I'm going to look for you in our list. There you are. Okay, Pancham, I'm going to send you a message here, okay? So I'm reaching out to you right now, Pancham. So hi, Pancham. Okay, I read that you have a test, a speaking test tomorrow. Would you like to volunteer? All right. So hopefully I can reach out to Pancham and give a little bit of a heads up. Okay, Pancham says, would love to. All right, Pancham. Then I am going to give you a call. Make sure you have your speakers and your microphone enabled, and we're doing audio only. Okay, Pancham? All right, where is Pancham? There's Pancham. Okay, Pancham, here we go. All right.
Hello.
Hi, Pancham. How are you?
I'm doing great, Adrian. How are you?
I am doing well. Thank you for asking. Like I said, I'm kind of getting over this cold, but but it's nice to be in class with all of you. So, well, first of all, good luck on your speaking exam tomorrow. Okay, I'll keep my fingers crossed that you get a great score.
Thank you so much.
And again, just stay calm. Remember, Pancham, show up early to the exam, okay? So show up like an hour before the exam starts and find some other candidates to practice with, just the same as what we're doing right now, okay?
Yes, got it.
All right. Okay, Pancham, so I am going to switch back to our questions here, and then I'll ask you a couple of questions and we'll discuss your responses. Sounds good?
Yeah.
Okay. So, here we go. Why do you think people use the internet?
The internet is okay. I would say people use internet for a lot of reasons. Maybe for work or for study. I remember when I was in college, I used to use internet a lot for my research on my assignments and projects. And nowadays, since I'm working, I use internet all the time for communicating with the clients and taking care of different projects.
How has the way you use the internet changed today compared to 5 years ago?
Half a decade ago, I would say internet was still an upcoming thought. There was no 4G or 5G as we speak now. Most of the things were done in 2G or 3G. The internet speed was not as fast as we have now, and the uses of internet was not as prominent as we have it now.
If you could make a website, what would it be?
I love cooking, so I would love to make a website on different types of recipes and the different experiments I would do in my kitchen and get allowed to get feedback from other people.
Okay. Good. All right. Good.
Okay.
So let me give you a bit of feedback. That was really good. Okay, Pancham. So first of all, I think that an examiner would comfortably score you a band 7 to 7.5. Okay. I think if you sat the IELTS exam, 5 examiners might give you a 7.5 and 5 of them might give you a 7. That's kind of how I would imagine. And I think you can get a 7.5, maybe even an 8 in your speaking tomorrow. So after you do your speaking exam, when you come back to one of these classes, please let us know how you did after you get your marks, because I'm really curious. And my guess is that you're going to get, okay, great, thanks. My guess is that you're going to get a 7.75 for sure on your speaking, okay? Maybe even better. So first of all, notice like when I asked you, so the first question that I asked you was, why do you think people use the internet, right? That was the first one. And then at first you said, yeah, so at first you said, the internet is, okay, right? And I was like, oh, what's going on? So you kind of froze. And then suddenly you started going like a bullet train. So you said, I would say people use the internet for a lot of reasons, maybe work or study. I remember when I was in college, I used the internet for assignments, and you gave me a beautiful answer. It was like a band 8 answer right away when you got going, okay? But at the beginning, you froze. So this is a perfect example of why you want to show up to your exam early and why you want to talk with other candidates, why you want to use English before your exam, so that you don't freeze, so that you're already moving, you're already thinking in English. And then once you start talking with the examiner, then it's just a continuation of that English. You see?
Right, got it. Yeah, makes sense.
Right? So for you, it's going to be very important to show up early to the exam, an hour early, talk to other people, use English only, don't switch to your native language, okay? You will get a great score as long as you follow this advice, okay? All right, so again, your answer was very good. It was solid. You had really good grammar. You used a conditional when I was in college. I used to, so that's a real condition. Okay, you gave me a couple of good reasons. People use the internet for work and study. You gave me a good example at the end, and then you stopped, and that was very, very good. Okay, so as long as you provide that kind of an answer, you're going to do just fine. Now, my next question was, how has the way you use the internet changed compared to 5 years ago? There was a bit of a mistake there. Even though you gave quite a fluent answer and you presented fairly good English, you made a bit of a mistake. Do you know what the mistake was before I tell you? So what was your mistake here?
No, I don't know what I said actually.
Okay, so what you said was half a decade ago, I say the internet was still an upcoming thought where there was no 5G and the internet was not as fast. So that's how you started.
Yeah, correct.
So what do you think your mistake was?
Internet was prominent back then as well. I think maybe a decade ago it was not as
Not
much.
really. Not really. The truth is not that important. I'm going to reach out to our viewers here in the chat. Let's see if anybody can help us out here. So does anybody know what the mistake was here? So what would be the better way to approach this question? Can anybody tell us in the chat? So can anybody give some advice here for Pancham? Very good. So 31 Layar says he did not talk about himself. Yeah, and Carolina says about he. So the question was, how has the way you use the internet changed in the last, okay? And you talked about how the internet changed. So even though you produced Band 8 level English, I can't give you a Band 8 because you're not answering the question, right? So you have to use the present perfect, and a couple of students in the chat said that as well, that you didn't really use the present perfect has or have, and you didn't talk about yourself. So in this case, you should have said, oh, the way I use the web has changed much in the last half decade. These days, I'm using the internet on my phone, but back in 2016, I had used it more at home on my computer. Okay, and then maybe even throw in a second present perfect, like I have been using my mobile because it is much faster now. I mean, it has a 5G connection. Okay, so that would be the accurate answer to this question. Okay, so let's try this, okay? One more time. I'm going to read the question, read this answer, and then just copy the answer after. Okay, sounds good?
Yeah.
Okay, so how has the way you use the internet changed today compared to 5 years ago? Oh, the way I'm using the web has changed much in the last half decade. These days, I'm using the internet on my phone, but back in 2016, I had used it more at home on my computer. I have been using my mobile because it's much faster now. I mean, it has 5G connection compared to 5 years ago when it was very slow. Okay, so I'll ask you the question and then give me this answer. It doesn't have to be the same words. It just has to have the present perfect and the right idea, okay? So here we go. How has the way you use the internet changed today compared to 5 years ago?
Oh, the way I use web has changed immensely from when I compare it to 2016. Back then, I used to use internet mainly on my computer at home, but nowadays I carry a mobile phone everywhere, and it has 4G connection with it, and I can use it anywhere for faster internet.
Excellent. Okay, much better. So that was an accurate answer. Okay, that was an accurate answer, and you were on topic, so there you would easily get a 7.5 to an 8. Okay, so my advice to you is pay careful attention to the questions, and remember that in part 1, the questions are about you. So you're speaking about yourself. I, me, my, the way I do it, okay? So part 1 is about you, and really carefully listen for the question, because most likely the question is asking about you for part 1, okay?
Sorry.
All
Thanks
right.
for the feedback, Adrian.
You're very welcome. And
we-
again, I wish you really, really good luck on your exam tomorrow. Did you have a question?
No, I was just about to say it gave me a lot of confidence for tomorrow.
Yeah, be confident tomorrow because you have good English. Your English is good. Just really pay attention to the questions, okay?
Okay. Thanks.
All right. Good luck. Bye.
Okay, bye.
All right, everyone. So again, please everyone give a nice round of applause for Pancham. He did a fantastic job. Okay, so everybody please applaud. That was Pancham. Students, if you like this kind of speaking and you feel this helps and you want to do a full 30-minute speaking interview practice with feedback, you get a recording of that speaking interview, then what you can do is you can click on this speaking interview practice button, this yellow looking button, and you can book a speaking session with me where basically we do a full interview through Zoom. So we do face-to-face with video. We can record that session, then I give you feedback, we analyze it, you do a bit of practice. So that's what you can do on the website as well. And I encourage everybody to use this student partner speaking, talk to other students, analyze each other's speaking, give each other feedback. I know many of you have good ideas of what you should be doing. If you don't know, you can always reach out and ask a question from me as well. So that's it for today's speaking session, everyone. I'm thankful for all of our volunteers. Again, just a quick clap for all of the volunteers for being so brave. Thank you very much, everyone. Remember that we still have our Cyber Day discount going on for our premium IELTS package. When you sign up, it's a 40% discount. Just use the code CYBERDAY at gieltshelp.com for general IELTS or aehelp.com for academic IELTS. And keep practicing, everyone. You are all brilliant, smart, beautiful people. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Your brains are the most incredible machines known to mankind. By far, you are an amazing learning machine. So keep up your studies. I will be back tomorrow with writing task 1 for members, and then I believe we have some more speaking, a cue card that builds up to our Saturday's speaking part 3 classes, everyone. So make sure to come back. You can follow our live class schedules. You can see it on our YouTube posts as well as on our Instagram profiles. Instagram is IELTS_AEHelp, GIELTS Help. I wish you all an amazing day. Much love from beautiful Victoria. Signing out. I'm Adrian. Bye for now.